She stepped outside on Christmas morning and vanished without a scream, without a trace, her coat left behind in the freezing cold. 4 months, her family searched while answers stayed buried. Then one discovery shattered everything they believed about her disappearance, and exposed a truth no one was prepared for. Before we begin, take a moment to prepare yourself, because this is not just another missing person story. This is a case that unfolded in plain sight, on a day meant for joy, family, and safety. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss stories like this, where we dig deep into real disappearances and uncover the truth behind them. Like this video to help more people see it, and share it with someone who believes these stories only happen far away, because sometimes they happen closer than we think. As you listen, pay attention to the details, the small moments that were ignored, and the warning signs no one noticed in time. This is the story of a woman who stepped outside on Christmas Day and never came back. Christmas Day is supposed to be a time of warmth, laughter, and family gathered under blinking lights. It's the day people lower their guard, believing that nothing truly bad could happen while carols play and children unwrap gifts. But for the family of Elena Moore, Christmas Day became a wound that would never fully heal. Elena didn't vanish in the dead of night or during a dangerous journey. She disappeared in broad daylight, on one of the safest, most celebrated days of the year. No struggle, no screams, no witnesses who noticed anything out of place. Just one moment she was there, and the next, she was gone. For 3 months, her disappearance haunted investigators, devastated her family, and terrified a quiet town that had never seen a crime like it. Then, a discovery revealed that Elena's fate was far more disturbing than anyone had imagined. This is her story. Elena Moore was 26 years old, a middle school art teacher known for her gentle voice and constant sketchbook tucked under her arm. She lived alone in a small townhouse on the edge of Brookhaven, a peaceful suburban community where crime was rare and neighbors still waved from their driveways. Christmas morning began like any other holiday for Elena. She woke up just after 7 a.m., sent a cheerful Merry Christmas message to her parents, and brewed a cup of coffee while snow fell softly outside her window. She had plans. At 10 a.m., she was supposed to stop by her parents' house for breakfast. Later in the afternoon, she planned to visit her younger sister, Claire, who lived just 15 minutes away. The day was carefully planned, and Elena was the kind of person who never broke plans. At 8:42 a.m., Elena sent her last confirmed message. Heading out soon. Roads look clear. See you in a bit, Redheart. She locked her door, stepped into the cold morning air, and walked toward her car. She was never seen again. When Elena didn't arrive by 10:30 a.m., her parents assumed traffic delays. By 11:15, concern set in. Calls went unanswered. Messages stayed unread. By noon, Claire drove to Elena's townhouse. Everything looked normal. Elena's car was still parked in the driveway. Her purse sat inside on the passenger seat. Her phone, however, was missing. There were no signs of forced entry. No broken windows. No footprints in the snow except Elena's, leading away from her front door and stopping abruptly near the driveway. That was the moment panic turned into fear. Police were called just after 1 p.m. Christmas Day. At first, officers treated the case cautiously. Adults were allowed to go missing voluntarily. There were no signs of violence. But as the hours passed, something felt wrong. Elena had left behind her coat. In freezing temperatures. That detail alone shattered the idea that she had simply chosen to disappear. By the next morning, Elena Moore's face was everywhere. Local news stations interrupted holiday programming. Flyers were printed and taped to streetlights, grocery store doors, and bus stops. Social media filled with her smiling photograph, brown hair, soft eyes, and a warmth that seemed to radiate even from a screen. Search teams combed nearby woods, creeks, and abandoned buildings. K-9 units traced her scent from the driveway, but lost it less than 50 feet from her front door. It was as if Elena had vanished into thin air. Neighbors were interviewed. No one had heard screams. No one had seen a struggle. No suspicious vehicles were reported. One neighbor mentioned seeing Elena speaking briefly with someone near her driveway that morning, but couldn't remember details. It didn't look unusual, the neighbor said. Just normal. That word, normal, would haunt investigators for months. As days turned into weeks, theories multiplied. Some believed Elena had been abducted by a stranger who knew exactly when to strike. Others suspected someone she trusted, someone who didn't raise alarm bells. Investigators dug into her personal life. Elena had no history of drug use, no financial troubles, no known enemies, no secret relationships. Her phone records showed nothing unusual. Her bank accounts remained untouched. Then something strange emerged. Security footage from a nearby intersection showed Elena walking calmly alongside a man toward a dark-colored SUV around 8:55 a.m. She did not appear distressed. She did not resist. She simply walked with him and entered the vehicle. That single piece of footage changed everything. The footage was grainy. The man's face was partially obscured by a winter hat and scarf. He appeared average height, average build, unremarkable in every way. And that was the problem. He looked like someone who belonged. Investigators released still images to the public. Tips poured in, but none led to an identification. The SUV was never found. Weeks passed with no new leads. Elena's family clung to hope, but each passing day made that hope harder to hold. Christmas decorations came down. Snow melted. Life moved on, except for the Moores. By March, the case had gone cold. Until one phone call changed everything. On March 28th, a utility worker inspecting an abandoned farmhouse 30 miles outside Brookhaven noticed something unusual beneath the floorboards of a storage shed. A strong odor. Freshly disturbed soil. Authorities were called immediately. What they found confirmed everyone's worst fears. Elena Moore's remains were buried beneath the shed, wrapped carefully in plastic and blankets, as if someone had taken time, care, and effort. There were no signs of a struggle at the burial site. But the autopsy revealed something chilling. Elena had been alive for weeks after Christmas. The autopsy revealed evidence of prolonged captivity. Elena had not been killed immediately. She had been held, kept somewhere, controlled, silenced. Investigators re-examined every detail of the case. Then they found him. Daniel Hargreave, a 39-year-old maintenance contractor who had worked on Elena's townhouse complex months earlier. He had keys. He knew schedules. He knew who lived alone. And most terrifying of all, Elena trusted him. Phone records placed him near Elena's home that morning. A neighbor finally recognized him from the footage. When police searched his home, they found Elena's phone, wiped clean, and a journal. Inside were detailed notes about Elena's routines. Christmas Day was circled. When confronted with the evidence, Daniel broke. He confessed calmly, disturbingly calm. He had approached Elena that morning under the pretense of a maintenance issue. She recognized him, trusted him, walked with him willingly. By the time she realized the danger, it was too late. He kept her hidden for nearly 2 months. When he realized the investigation was closing in, he killed her and buried her. He showed no remorse, only disappointment that he had been caught. Daniel Hargreave was sentenced to life in prison without parole. But justice did little to heal the damage. Brookhaven was never the same. Neighbors locked doors more tightly. Parents watched their children more closely. Trust became fragile. Elena's family established a foundation in her name, educating people about safety and awareness, especially during holidays when defenses are lowered. Her art classroom at the school remains untouched. A silent memorial. Elena Moore's story is not just about a disappearance. It's about how danger doesn't always look dangerous, how evil doesn't always knock loudly, and how trust can be the most powerful weapon a predator uses. She didn't vanish into darkness. She was taken in daylight, on Christmas, by someone who looked normal. And that is the most terrifying truth of all. If this story disturbed you, it should. Because cases like Elena's remind us that true crime isn't just about what happens, it's about how easily it can happen. If you found this story important, make sure to like, subscribe, and share so more people hear these stories and stay aware. New true crime cases and mysterious disappearances are coming soon, and some are closer than you think. Stay alert, stay safe, and never ignore the details. Because sometimes, the smallest moments hide the darkest secrets.